Hey everybody, and welcome to the It's a Writer's Life for Me tag. Alright, I was tagged for this video by Victoria Griffin, who is an awesome YouTuber who does author-to-be stuff, and she's just an awesome person, so I will link her channel down below. Make sure you check it out. Also, this tag was originally done by two people named Sarah, and I will link both of their channels down below as well. Alright, so I have the questions in front of me, and here we go. Question 1, what kind of writer are you? Well, I'm the kind of writer who doesn't finish much of anything. No. I write screenplays. I've worked on a novel before a couple of times, some short stories here and there, but mostly screenwriting. Question 2, when did you start writing? I started writing when I was really young. I've answered this in a couple other videos. It was something that I've always done, and my parents have recently uncovered a bunch of old stories that I wrote that are like unreadable because I didn't know words yet. Like, I knew some words, but I didn't know others. So yeah, it's been a long time. The first thing I can remember writing happened to be around the 4th grade though. Question 3 is, what inspires your stories? And I would say life inspires my stories. Being in the world, paying attention to current events. Yeah, just in general, I get inspiration from everyday conversation all the way up into, you know, CNN, that sort of stuff. And then imagination, sitting in bed, closing your eyes and just thinking about stuff. The world is full of inspiration. You just have to let it hit you. Question 4 is, what themes do you like to explore in your writing? I would have to say for me, the biggest kind of theme that I like to explore is revenge. I've written more revenge movies than just about anything else. I don't know what that says about me, but I like to explore the mindset of people who feel like they're down and out or who have lost everything and are trying to claw back to get some sort of redemption from that. Also, I know the novel I worked on during NaNoWriMo, a lot of it was exploring socioeconomic inequality, how people can overcome their circumstances. So those kind of themes tend to be heavy in my writing most of the time. Question 5 is, are you a pantser or a plotter? This question, when I first answered it in another tag video, I didn't realize was kind of a little controversial. I'm a little bit of both. I like to fly by the seat of my pants when it comes to like very specific details when it comes to my writing, but I like to have a like pretty general concept of point A to point B to point C to point D, beginning, middle, end of the story before I dive right in. I do think that like just kind of diving in and finding yourself in your words is a strategy that you can use, and I don't know why it upsets people if some people do that. It may not be the best strategy for being published or having an easy job editing your work, but it is a strategy. I don't know. I've heard that there's some controversy about these terms. All right, question 6. Where are you in your journey? Querying, agented, published, and I am currently in none of those parts of my journey. I write, and I write as often as I can, and I'm trying to get something that's worth putting out there in the world through contests and querying and sending it to agents and hopefully seeing if it is something that can be made. Question 7, have you ever entered any writing contests? I have. I've entered a writing contest for a pilot that I finished last year, and then a writing contest for a short story when I was in college. The short story ended up being published in a literary magazine back in Ohio. So the two contests that I entered my pilot in, the first one I moved on to the second round in and then didn't move on any farther, and the other one I did move on to the second round for that one. So that was a bit of a disappointment, but it was good to know, and I got some good feedback. I think one of the best things about contests is receiving feedback from random people who don't know you and don't know what name is on that screenplay. They're just reading it for the merits of the words on the page. So I would suggest entering contests to anybody out there. Question 8 is, who are your writing heroes? So my biggest writing hero is Quentin Tarantino. He's the most cliche person I could probably say here, wanting to be a screenwriter, but he's the biggest inspiration for me when it comes to screenwriting. Aaron Sorkin is another big one, another huge name who I just absolutely adore. And then on the novel side, I'm a really big fan of Chuck Palahniuk, who is just an amazing writer. Fight Club and Choke and Snuff, and I mean there's just so many great things that he's written. If you haven't read any of his stuff, please, please, please do. I'm also a really big fan of Chuck Wendig, who has written some Star Wars books and then some of his own novels, and if you haven't caught the like Miriam Black saga, it's something definitely worth checking out. All right, question number 9. Have you ever been to a writing conference? Nope. I would like to, but I haven't yet. And question number 10, the final question for this tag. What are the top 3 pieces of advice you'd give a newbie writer? I would say number 1, write. Do a lot of writing. Fail, and fail miserably, and fail amazingly, and just keep writing, because there's nothing better that you can do to become a writer than to write. Number 2 is read. Not just read like columns of advice and columns of, you know, this is how you become a best-selling author, but like read other things, explore your boundaries when it comes to fiction, and read the news. Just gain knowledge, because it's a tool that you can have as a writer, is that knowledge of story. And whether it's nonfiction or fiction, it's just worth having that kind of exposure to. The third piece of advice that I would give to a newbie writer is don't be afraid to fail. Everyone is going to mess up at some point during this journey. As a writer, nobody is automatically Stephen King. Nobody is automatically Sarah J. Maas. Nobody is automatically just a New York Times bestseller. You have to work at it. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of the rejection that comes along with this. If it's something you're passionate about, it's something that's worth it, and just keep striving for it. All right, guys, so that pretty much does it for my Writer's Life for Me tag. I will be tagging a few people in this video. They may have already been tagged, and if you have been, I'm sorry, but I'm calling you out again. And if you've already done it, I'm double sorry, but I don't think you have. So I am going to tag Introverted Novelist, Jolyn, over at Introverted Novelist. She's an awesome person. Check out her channel. It'll be linked down below. I'm going to tag Clara from Clara Reads Books. If you guys don't know her, check her out. We do a book club together. She's super awesome. I'm going to tag Cam over at Wolfshot Publishing. Also a super, super duper awesome dude. And yeah, I think everybody else that I would tag has already been tagged. So, all right, and I'm gonna tag Jade over at Boho Bookworm. She is an awesome person who also writes, and if you haven't checked her channel out, I'll leave the link for that down below. All right, guys, as always, if you have any questions or comments about any of my answers here, feel free to leave them down below. Or if you want to argue with me about whether Quentin Tarantino is a worthy person to be my writing hero, you can throw that down there below. If you like what I'm doing here, if you want to keep following along in the journey, feel free to hit that subscribe button. This is the thumbs up button, but like you can hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. That would be cool too. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. That's what I was saying. No, that's what I was doing, and I was saying the subscribe. Like, you get the point. As always, if you want to share this video, feel free. You can put it on whatever social media outlet you want to. It's super awesome, and I appreciate it a lot. All right, guys, I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.